Thank you very much for joining us for another edition of Saint Spotlight. Today we're joined by Niyokwizera Eva, and she is the head of the Black Student Union here at Thomas More University, among many other things. Thank you very much for sitting down with us, Eva.
Well, you're welcome.
Would you mind sharing with us your year, your major, and how did you find Thomas More know it was the right place for you?
So I'm a junior. I'm a law major, and I knew Thomas More was right for me because so in my process of like selecting a college to go to, I wanted to find something that was very small. I had three top options: Seattle University, Shawnee State, or Thomas More. Now, I had never actually heard of Thomas More before they started, harassing my email. And I say that in a joking way. Colleges have to, you know, recruit and promote. So I ended up getting a visit here. And on my form, I had filled out that I played lacrosse and soccer, and I was very involved in school, as I am now. And when I took the visit here, Mackenzie Adams actually, she graduated last year. She kind of was my tour guide. And when she gave me the tour, I was like, okay, I like it. It's so small. I can walk to class. Like, the shortest walk to class is about 5 minutes. And then they also offered me a scholarship to play lacrosse. And I wanted to play a sport in college, just not soccer. So I was like, that's perfect.
That it is. Now, the Black Student Union has grown since its inception in 2019. Can you tell us what has worked to fuel that growth before and after you became president of the club?
So before I became president of the club, I would say that Whitney Johnson, Diamond Vance, India McCullough, they all kind of laid the foundation for it because I know that India came here in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Don't quote me on it. It might have been 2018 because she graduated last year. But I know that they started the Black Student Union so they could have a place to feel safe. Not that campus is not safe, but they wanted a place where they could be comfortable and they could be themselves, and a place where other students of color could also be themselves. So they pretty much did a lot of the hard stuff, I would say. Like they had all of the events that discussed like racial inequality. They had events that basically explain what the Black Student Union is and why it's important. I feel like now I get to do all the fun things, all the fun events that just incorporate Black culture.
That's right. What has been your favorite BSU event or initiative?
I would say my favorite BSU event is the BSU rally that we have every single year because I feel like no matter what, people are going to come to that event. You don't even have to really promote it, but the fact that we all can come together for change, and not change that just involves students of color, but change that involves everyone around the campus. Because I feel like for us to continue moving forward and to continue making change, it has to be done throughout every department and not just student affairs.
Right on. What accomplishment are you most proud of as president of the Black Student Union?
Um, I would say I'm most proud of how I actually have to think on this one. It's kind of hard. I would say I'm most proud of how I've um how I've incorporated the opinions of students when it comes to events. Like this year, most of these events are suggestions that I got from students or criticisms that I got from students. So I'm very proud of the fact that I'm able to use criticism to make events. Like yesterday we had our Taste of Soul event for the second day of Black History Month. And that event, it was created because a lot of people complain about, campus dining. And I was like, well, my sister likes to cook all the time and she cooks soul food. So I think we should do that. We did. And there there was literally like a tray of collard greens left and two pieces of cornbread. That's all that was left. So I would say it was successful.
What did you guys start with today? Like,
Um,
what all did you guys cook?
so we had three cheese mac and cheese, cornbread, collard greens, sweet potatoes, and then we got chicken from Popeyes because fried chicken is something you can't mess up. You just can't. Uh, and what was the other one? Oh my goodness. I can't believe I just forgot what it was. So we had the fried chicken, mac and cheese, cornbread, sweet potatoes. I said collard greens, right?
Yes.
The six. Oh, deviled eggs.
Deviled
And
eggs.
deviled eggs.
That certainly will make it a worthy trip down to the dining hall. I hope that we're able to continue that even without it being just February, having good food. Who or what do you draw inspiration from?
I would say I draw, and this is gonna sound so corny. I draw inspiration from God. So I'm very faith based. So so for me, everything that I do has to align with the will of God, right? And when I'm doing things, I do it not for the validation or for the approval of other people, but the approval and validation of God. So if it's something that doesn't fall in His will, I'm not going to do it. So I just basically try to serve others, and I'm trying to think. Oh, this is not going to be
Selflessness.
perfect.
Yes.
Selflessness, and then I try to love others the way that Jesus did, just the way we were taught in Sunday school.
Right on. What are your plans and goals for after graduation here at Thomas More?
So after I graduate, I'm gonna go to grad school here. I'm gonna try to be a GA, so we'll see how that works out. And then I'm not actually sure what field I'm gonna go into, which is why I'm going to grad school. Because while I'm still thinking, I want to at least have a master's, and then I want to also continue my podcast that I just started, the Purpose Podcast. It's basically a faith-based podcast where I'm searching for my purpose through interviewing people who've either found their purpose, and I'll have some of my friends come on there as well to describe their journey.
It definitely sounds like an interesting premise. And did you say that you've already have an episode or two, and one of them's actually with Thomas More faculty?
Yes. So the first episode was just me. I was introducing myself, and then I kind of defined what purpose is in biblical terms, and then what purpose means to me. And then I had Dr. Haverkos, the dean for the College of Social Sciences, and I can't remember the last one.
And where could viewers find that podcast?
Well, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just anywhere podcasts are. It's all out there.
And it's called the Purpose Podcast.
Yes.
Awesome. And then lastly, what advice do you have for any Thomas More students at home?
So my advice would be, one, always do your assignments before you go out. Just make sure your assignments are done before you go out or do anything. And then I would say discover yourself. Try new things. Like, try a bunch of different things, because you never know what you like until you try new things. And then also pick one thing that doesn't benefit you. Like, pick something to do that benefits others. Something that you get completely no benefit out of. Something that doesn't really help you but helps others. Because along the way, you'll learn how satisfying it is to serve others. And how fulfilling it is as well.
Those are some selfless words. Thank you very much for sharing them.
You're
and
welcome.
Thank you very much for being our Saint Spotlight today and taking the time out of your day to talk with us. And thank you guys back home for joining us for another edition of Saint Spotlight from the new Thomas More podcasting booth. We will hope to continue to grow as it is necessary. And thank you again. Check out the next one. Have a good one.